Hey everybody, Red here today. I hope you're enjoying the holiday season. Today I kind of wanted to share some thoughts I had about Facebook and social media and why I don't really like them very much. I will make a video in the future kind of diving more into the psychology behind what social media is doing to people, but that'll be on a day where I have more time to put into research and all that shit. So today I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and see who agrees. Maybe some of you've had the same thoughts, maybe you don't agree. Let me know your experiences in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get started. So I think we should really start calling Facebook what it is. It's uneducated opinions based loosely in emotion with a severe lack of understanding of how reality actually functions. We should start calling it uninformed emotional opinion book instead, because everybody on this site puts about half a second of research into the articles they share, which I'd bet 90% of the time they just read the title and post it. Why do I think this? Because I literally would do the same fucking thing, and then I would build the same strawman arguments against anybody who disagreed with my opinion, rooted in emotion, and not in logical, reasonable reality. But seriously, everyone on this site is so hell-bent on proving why they're right, with very little to no evidence, or circumstantial evidence at best. And they all think Muslim people are peaceful, loving people, but isn't it interesting that it's never Christians, Jews, Hindus, or any other major religious groups that attack people and murder en masse? The strawman argument is always, well, white people did it for a long time too, without ever looking into the actual situation or acknowledging the fact that maybe there was a time when those religions did the same shit, but every religious group, with the exception of Islam, have since stopped with the barbaric shit, except for the Catholic Church raping children, but that's a whole nother topic. But not all Muslims are terrorists, sure, but an overwhelming majority of terrorists are Muslim, so what do? We could use the term terrorist to describe a vast majority of people and attitudes, but that's not the point here, is it? Now, without getting too far off topic, I see this shit all over Facebook. Now, I do have one lefty friend who does post this type of shit, but I do have to hand it to the dude because he never loses his shit, and he never goes into that hateful mode where people just start flinging insults and try and dehumanize you for a difference in opinion. Thankfully, he actually engages in critical and thought-provoking discussion, and even if we don't agree, it never really turns ugly, so I can at least applaud people like him who can defend their stance without getting shitty, and basically proving the point of why you can't take a lot of lefties seriously. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that Facebook is not a reliable source for any information other than what people are bitching about and refusing to take responsibility for in their own lives. The thing is that Facebook has just turned into an emotional complaint board for people too lazy to take some personal responsibility and do something with their lives, other than explain why they can't because everyone and their mother are out to get them specifically, as if the world has a personal vendetta against them. They want the world to bend over backwards and wipe their asses for them. They want to fix everything that they think is wrong with the world, but only at the expense of others, mainly people richer than them, and never on their own dime or expense. And if people aren't complaining about Donald Trump and his latest media outrage, then it's people complaining about arbitrary things that they could totally fix if they would only get off their ass and put forth the effort necessary to make their life something meaningful and worthwhile. And if it's not that, it's people who post the fucking day-to-day lives of their children like anybody wants to fucking see that. But they post it anyways for all the world to see, including those creepy internet pedophiles, human traffickers, and sex slave ring organizers. But hey, by all means, upload literally every detail of your personal life to this website that is incredibly vulnerable to hacks and data breaches and leaks of private information, like we've seen numerous times in the past already. But hey, your settings are on friends only, so you're protected, so who cares, right? Wrong. What if I told you anything that you upload to Facebook becomes part of Facebook's property? It's part of the agreement that you accepted when you signed up for this volunteer telling on yourself and letting the government keep tabs on your website. Facebook, or rather social media in general, is literally Big Brother from George Orwell's famous dystopian novel 1984. And if you don't agree, I think you ought to read that book, and you can see the comparisons that I'm making here. But anyway, instead of just the government, there's also private corporations involved as well as all of the digital and cyber criminals you could possibly imagine. So I'm not trying to be a fearmonger here, but I do believe people should really understand the reality of the world we live in. The evil from the world didn't just disappear with the new digital age and a more civilized world. It went underground and now hides in plain sight. I get very frustrated most of the times I log on to these social media platforms, and I've been considering deleting most of my internet presence because, quite frankly, I'm tired of all the incessant complaining, the claims of entitlement, by all the washed up thoughts of my generations and generations past. And don't even get me started on the old folks who have to add their opinion on every single thing they see. I have a grandparent like this, and everything I post they would leave their 2 cents on. It got annoying. I do appreciate when people engage with the things that I post, as I try to only post things that will inspire critical and logical thought processes. But after one person just keeps commenting on every single thing, it's like, dude, give it a rest. I'm looking for more than just your input here, and you've given it on the last 10 posts. Give it a rest already, and go feed your horses. And I feel the same way about Instagram, because Instagram's just a place where people virtue signal and pretend and show off like their life is better than it really is. Like, we don't all have the same problems and same struggles that we're going through, and like, we don't have bad days. All you see on Instagram is the highlights, and all you see on Facebook is people complaining. And then I think Twitter is more of like, you get to see the vitriolic side of people, the id of the personality, rather. But another thing is, I'm really tired of how soft everyone is, and how much we give into people's mental illnesses, as if having that is some sort of an excuse from all personal responsibility. Oh, nothing in your life is your fault or your responsibility because you have bipolar depression or you have chronic depression. Another newsflash for all the dipshits out there that think occasionally being sad means you're depressed. It doesn't. I've been depressed before. That's when you wake up every day and you literally just want to end your life. But there's so much more to it than just, today I'm sad because of this arbitrary reason. Depression is a real thing, and I think it's really getting underplayed by everybody that's self-diagnosing themselves and going into the doctor and claiming that they need antidepressants. Now, what you need to do is realize that we're not supposed to be happy 24/7. Sadness is a part of life, and without it, you can't truly appreciate the times that you are happy, and you can't be grateful for the good times. And pharmaceutical companies have done an excellent job of convincing everybody that the reason you're sad is because of depression. Instead of acknowledging facts like most people are on a terrible diet, most people sit inside and watch Netflix and don't get sunshine on their skin, most people don't exercise and get their blood flowing. I mean, everybody has rough days, and most people don't need a pill. They just need motivation, encouragement, meaning in their life in the form of personal responsibility, and a good friend who is honest with them. I don't have issues with people showing like emotions and being sad, but most of the men these days are being conditioned to be overly emotional beta males with little to no self-control or emotional self-control. I don't have a problem with people showing emotions, but men aren't these emotionally driven creatures that society likes to keep telling them that they are. Women are emotionally driven creatures, and men are logic and reason driven creatures. That's why men tend to be engineers and want to fix problems, and they want to find solutions. Women talk about things. That's why they're more people-oriented. They go towards careers that are more people-oriented, like nursing and stuff like that, because they want to talk about things and discuss feelings. Whereas men, we're just focused on finding the quickest solution to the problem. It's not to say that women don't find the solution to the problem either. It's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is men and women are different, and society is trying to tell us that we are exactly the same. And it is not the case. You can pick up any fucking science book that was written by a credible scientist and realize that this is not the case. You can study every animal in the animal kingdom and realize that there are vast differences biologically, mentally, and psychologically in women and men. It's not just humans. But anyway, it makes me feel like it's weird because I have my father who I haven't had a really good relationship with most of my life, and he sends me these overly emotional text messages that he thinks are probably fine thanks to society's influence on demasculizing men. But, I mean, let me be clear, it's not that I don't love my father, I do. But I don't feel the need to remind him every time I hear from him, as I would with my mother. But, anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all this, because I'm tired of men and masculinity being put down and painted like it's a bad thing, and men being told that they're emotional creatures, and everybody getting a pass and excuse because they had a bad day. It's like, I mean, life is not all sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes you have hard fucking days where you're just face down in the fucking mud, and that's how it is. But you have to have those hard experiences to form your character. Those hard experiences, those tough times that you go through, they teach you incredibly valuable lessons that if you don't have them, you end up becoming the problem in society. You end up contributing to the problem that society is growing and fostering. So it's like, people aren't chronically depressed. People need to get off their ass, get a little bit of sunshine on their skin, find some meaning in their life in the form of personal responsibility, and just get their blood flowing and get their fucking brain going. I mean, if you're sitting inside watching TV all day, you're doing nothing, and no wonder you're sad. So get off your ass and move a little bit. But anyways, guys, like I said, I want to hear what you guys think about this, and I do want to make a video that goes more in depth on the problems that social media creates and why, and the way that it influences human psychology and the zeitgeist. Because I think, most men are being susceptible to this idea that we should be more feminized or more beta. But I think one thing that a lot of men should do, they should probably get rid of a lot of their social media platforms, or at least they should limit what they share on there, because God only knows it will come back in the future and be used against them, and most likely be taken out of context. So anyways, guys, thanks for having your red pill reality checked. Stay away from the blue pills. And of course, as always, leave your feedback, subscribe, and like this video if you enjoy my content. And I'll see you guys next video.